The Buster Blader is without a doubt one of the definitive founding decks of this channel, and it's about time we bring back the best Buster Blader deck that's ever existed. For those who don't know, Buster Blader is primarily focused around their trap card, Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman, which allows them to very easily special summon their 1-2 punch of powerful boss monsters, the Buster Dragon, and the Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. Prologue is a disgusting trap card that allows you to send a Destruction Sword card and a Buster Blader from your deck to the graveyard to special summon the Buster Dragon directly from the extra deck, but it does get destroyed during the end of the following turn. The Buster Dragon itself has a range of abilities, foremost among them its ability to transform all of your opponent's monsters on the field into dragon-type monsters. Not only does that provide disruption to decks that rely upon their typing for perhaps link material such as Math Mech, but it also makes your opponent's monsters susceptible to other effects in your deck, which we'll talk about in just a moment. In addition to that, it can also bring back a Buster Blader from your graveyard, so long as you don't have one on the field already, and can even equip onto one of your Buster Blader monsters the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword from the graveyard, which locks your opponent out of using their extra deck entirely, meaning the Buster Dragon is a veritable fountain of utility. And the Destruction Sword card in question that you're sending to the graveyard off of Prologue is Destruction Sword Memories, which will allow you to banish itself, as well as Buster Blader and any dragon monster, to fusion summon Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. And so long as Buster Blader towers over the field, all of your opponent's dragon-type monsters are switched to defense, and dragons in your opponent's possession cannot activate their effects. Because of the Buster Dragon, that means none of your opponent's monsters on the field can activate their effects. However, Buster Blader goes a little bit further. Because it states that it's dragons in your opponent's possession, it also prevents the activation of effects of dragons in hand and graveyard, which means cards such as Flamberge, cards such as the Bestials, and many different branded strategies all fall apart in the face of Buster Blader, as he prevents their activation even outside of the field, meaning no matter what, he's going to be putting in work. And if they don't deal with him quick, they're going to be dealing with quite a bruiser, as he gains 1,000 additional attack points for every dragon your opponent controls or that's in their graveyard, and he inflicts piercing damage, so they can't hide from this damage forever. So Buster Blader is absolutely a very aggressive threat as well. It gets huge and it does a ton of damage. And we're mixing the deck with Snake Eyes, as they have a ton of synergy with one another. There's a number of very important points that the deck share that really brings to life the Buster Blader engine in a way that no deck before this has managed to do. First and foremost among those is the spell card War Art Thou. War Art Thou is a spell card that states so long as you control a level 1 monster, you can search your deck for another level 1 monster. Given that this deck has 13 different ways of putting a level 1 monster on your field without using your normal summon, this deck can more consistently utilize War Art Thou to grab your Buster Whelp, your level 1 monster that searches you Prologue, than any other Buster Blader deck that we've played before. So the consistency of the Buster Blader engine in this deck is far and above better than pretty much any that we've ever played before. Adding even more to that consistency is the fact that as part of the Snake Eyes primary combo, they put a dragon into their graveyard, the Flamberge Dragon. Now, while that sounds small, there are a lot of Buster Blader hybrids that we've played that don't natively actually play any dragons, so a lot of decks have to compensate by relying exclusively upon the Whelp, or perhaps they play a Bestial engine or something like that to help cope and ensure they have dragons in grave for its effect. Not this deck. This deck, we can almost guarantee that there's going to be a dragon in grave, which means even just hard drawing Prologue also is still a live play. In a lot of decks, it simply isn't. And of course, considering one of the primary benefits of playing Snake Eyes, which is effectively the best deck in the game, we are able to utilize a ton of extra deck mechanics and monsters that protect our Buster cards while also applying additional pressure to our opponent. SP Little Knight is a fantastic example which provides a level of protection the Buster Blader has been dying for since its inception. We're able to dodge and play around targeting disruption, which was the bane of this little combo's existence. Also able to utilize a 3 or 4 Material Apollousa pretty consistently, as well as Baron de Fleur, means that our Buster Blader cards are very safe, and so long as they're safe, your opponent's chances of winning the game are going down by the second. So given that we're maxing out on power, consistency, and protection, I think it's very safe to say that this is the best Buster Blader deck to ever grace Master Duel. So if you want to catch more content just like this, make sure you're subscribed to catch videos as they come out, and like this video if you want to help us get it to even more people. In this video, we're going to be going over a couple of replays, showing off some really cool boards and combos, as well as talking about the synergy between the two decks, and we're going to go into some live gameplay towards the end. So if that's of any interest, make sure you're subscribed, but I'm not going to waste your time at the start here. Let's get right in to the replays. Alrighty, getting into our first replay then. Of course, quite a ham. We're going to start off with BLADER, the Black Witch, one of the many ways in which we can make War Art Thou Live to grab our Buster combo. We're going to go sending BLADER to the graveyard. That actually gets ashed. We do luckily have Crossout Designator. I feel like if our opponent had Max C, they would have used it by now, so I don't really mind hitting the ash with the Crossout. So, I'm not overly concerned. I don't think he's got a Maxi, which is our only other really problematic card. We're going to go for the Snake Eye Ash grabbing us Poplar, and we're just playing into our regular Snake Eye combo, partially because it's potentially going to bait him out into using extra cards. We grab Subversion, because we've got literally everything else already. We're going to play a Link Karibo then, Poplar placing itself back into the back row, Snake Eye Ash, again, pretty standard Snake Eyes stuff here. I'm not even the most experienced Snake Eyes pilot, but again, I actually do believe there is a mistake we do make in this, but it ends up not mattering because our hand is that good. We go into Promethean Princess too early, so we do. I was supposed to go into Formula Synchron first. So IP Masquerena, that's all well and good. Flamber's then going to bring back 2 cards, and I believe it's right here. Yeah, it's right here. So what you're supposed to do here is you're supposed to go into Formula Synchron first, so you can use Formula Synchron and your Promethean Princess to go into Sprite Elf, blah blah blah. Small mistake on our part, but we end up fixing it, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. We're going to go Flamberge from the graveyard here. We're going to use Flamberge to place IP into the back row. Now we're going to use Jet Synchron. Luckily, because we had that additional gas, we're able to make up for our mistake going into Hita, which is basically just going to serve as a Link 2. So we're going to go Formula Synchron now. Formula Synchron drawing us a card. Hita then going to grab back the Ash from his graveyard. Now we're going to go into Sprite Elf using these two. Sprite Elf bringing back the Formula Synchron. We're going to play our field spell just to get as many cards out of our deck as we can, playing our offer Flamberge to the field, and we're pretty much set here. Flamberge going to activate some of the Masquerena. We have a lot of monsters on board, so objective number 1 is going to be to get rid of some of the fat here, get rid of some of the monsters on our board, streamline it down so we actually have room for our Buster combo. So we're going to Synchro Summon first into Baron de Fleur. They're going to go Branded Regained, I guess. So we're playing into Branded, which is good to know because this deck crushes Branded so hard. We're going to go Masquerena and Ash. Masquerena Chain Link 1, Ash Chain Link 2. So we're going to go 4 materials into Apollosa. So we got a 3200 attack point Apollosa. Ash going to grab us another Ash. We were at this stage still playing 2 Ash. I have adjusted the deck since to match the new ban list coming out. Branded and High Spirits, then we're going to mill 2 from the deck to the graveyard off a prologue of the Destruction Swordsman, chaining to that our Destruction Sword memories to conduct our fusion summon. So that means as part of one chain, Buster Blader himself is going to hit the field, locking our opponent out of using dragons, and then Chain Link 2 here, we've got our Buster Dragon coming out as well. That Albion, for example, cannot use its effect. Titaniclad cannot use its effect. His Bestials in hand cannot use their effects. His Albaz cannot use its effect. And just like that, he realizes how boned he is in the face of the Buster Blader. And he decides that, you know what, it's time to pack it up and leave. And I don't blame him. That is a very difficult position to pay through, my friend. Yeah, honestly, this is pretty much as good as you could possibly hope to get. Of course, we even misplayed and we still ended up with a pretty incredible board. Total lockdown on the field, 4 extra negates for stuff that isn't being locked down, so if they have anything in grave or in hand that they want to activate, Appo's there, and we even got Baron to protect us from the vast majority of board breakers. So I think overall, fantastic showing of the deck. Let's get into game number 2, where perhaps it doesn't go quite so smooth. Already getting into our second replay then. We're going to be playing Magician Souls here. Magician Souls is going to send BLADER. Magician Souls is such a good card. Again, not only is it already kind of good in regular Snake Eyes, just as an extender, it's even better in a version like this because it's a level 1 monster and you get to draw shit, man. Look at this. We're going to go Magician Souls, activating Divine Temple. We're going to play Poplar. I get real greedy here and we just send 2 to draw 2, but it actually ends up beating out an Ash Blossom. which turns out to be really good for us. So now we're in a position, unfortunately, you may be left in positions like this where you're being asked to choose between Whelp and a Snake Eye normal summon. It doesn't happen a lot, because we don't have a lot of Snake Eye normal summons, but it will sometimes happen. And you have to make that decision what you want to play. I'm going to play Buster Whelp because I'm not a bitch. We're going to grab our prologue, and just like this is like basically full combo, right? SP Little Knight is such an amazing card with the Buster Blader cards, because they help us get past a lot of our old weaknesses. Labyrinth Ku Klux, playing in a Labyrinth, which is a back row deck, at first glance you might look at that and think, ah, shit, well, back row is going to be a bit of a weakness for a deck like this. And normally you're right, but Labyrinth is actually, they actually kind of struggle into us a little bit, I'm not going to lie. So we're going to go Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, then we're going to go Buster Dragon here as well. And even though he, of course, is focusing on back row, his monsters still need to be able to use their effects. Even lovely Labyrinth can't activate its effects to recycle cards back from the graveyard or to pop cards in my field because it's a dragon now. And another important piece of synergy that I didn't even initially realize is against Labyrinth, you don't control a Fiend. You cannot use this card. You have to control a Fiend to use this card, and you simply don't. So he cannot even bounce any of my cards off a Big Welcome before somebody watches this and be like, oh, why didn't he just use that? That's why. He doesn't control any Fiends. We're going to normal summon Snake Eye Ash. Our opponent doesn't stick around too much longer after this point. Poplar then. Poplar going to grab us Subversion. I do end up subversioning his monster anyway, because even I didn't initially realize that it wasn't a Fiend. So I was waiting on him doing it, and then I realized afterwards. Oak to bring something back, and he just leaves. So there you go. The Knight, Buster Blader in the back row as well, taking down Labyrinth, which is traditionally one of the weaker matchups we have. SP Little Knight and matchups like that can also really help you sort of preserve your Buster Dragon as well. The downside of your Buster Dragon getting destroyed during the end phase of the turn after it's summoned, it usually, I'm pretty sure, gets negated by SP Little Knight. Usually the duels don't go that far. If I'm wrong about that, let me know, unless we find out in our next game, which is going to be a live one. So, let's hop in. We are currently in Master 4 in this season. We're going to win the coin toss as well. The consistency hits to this deck are definitely going to sting. We don't really miss the Ash as much as we miss the Wanted spell card. So that one last card basically is a little bit painful. However, it's still a really solid deck. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Double Prologue is interesting. This could go well. It could also go a little poorly. We'll see. We'll see what we can do here. So we're going to go Bonfire. Nothing in response to Bonfire. Okay, I kind of want to go Poplar. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, Ash is smarter. Because we don't have a normal summon, it really doesn't matter. Going for the Poplar wouldn't make that much of a difference. If he has Imperm, this is going to suck. But if he doesn't, then he doesn't, right? And that's just it. He doesn't have Imperm. That is interesting. We're going to go Poplar then. Poplar to hand. Activate the Poplar. It's just, is he like running slow? Like, I keep on getting like mini lag, but he hasn't lit up yet, so is it maybe he's got something but his toggle's off and his game's just a little bit behind? I don't know, man, but it's making me nervous. It's making me real fucking nervous. I am not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna go for the Divine Temple here. And the reason I'm going for the Divine Temple, and we're gonna go for this right away and play our Flamberge, is the I will play a card face up. We're going to play Flamberge, because even if the this gets interrupted and we get stopped, having a dragon in our graveyard means that our prologue is live. So we have Buster. Buster's done. We have it. That is finished. We know that. So I am going to link off the Poplar. Alright, linking off the Poplar. That'll trigger Poplar to come right back again. Will it trigger Poplar to come right back again? I don't think it will. Let me hold off on that effect. Hang on. Let me hold off on that. Let me go for this first. I just really want to guarantee I put this dragon in grave. So we're going to send this now. And we're going to summon... Yeah, let's summon Oak. Ah, yeah, that is a mistake, actually. That was not smart of me. You know what? Let me hold off on using you. I can use you later. Okay, yeah, this is what we're going to do. This is a weird direction of doing it, but trust me, this works. This is a different way of doing the Snake Eye line. Like I said, I'm not too super, like, familiar with all of the Snake Eye sort of plays. It's not a deck I play very often. But it's not a deck I'm wholly unfamiliar with. So we're going to go in the IP here. So this is totally fine. Trust. Trust, trust, trust. That's going to trigger the Poplar. Play any one of these Thorks into the back row. It really doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Alright, perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go for Masquerena and Link Haribo in the Promethean. And we're basically just going to end up in the exact same spot. We're just doing it slightly differently. It's literally the exact same situation for us, though. So we're going to activate the Promethean Princess. Bring back, again, anything, really. Alright. So, Flamberge. I was supposed to link you off, I think, here. So maybe this was a mistake. Oh, well. Alright. We didn't play fantastically here, I'm not going to lie. Play our Phoenix. Then we will activate the Oak. We're going to send it and Ash to the grave. We're going to play our Flamberge from the deck. And yeah. Yeah, so, okay, we messed up on the Oak slightly. The ordering of this combo was whack, but it is what it is. It literally doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I could even go SP if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I want to keep fire targets on my field for Promethean. So I'm not too worried about that. But again, I really just want to show off the Buster cards, is my objective, right? That's the part of the deck I really want. Maybe I sort of overextended to like overcompensate for it almost. But I still kind of think it was worth it. Yeah, don't I just fuck your ass up? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. I don't want this guy to be activating that effect. So we're going to do this. And then I guess I'm going to use the Temple to summon IP Masquerena. We also have to chain this now. Because you don't want to get Firelocked, right? By the Promethean Princess. You do have to chain. But again, that's no obstacle, so it's fine. So we're going to go chain link 4 on this man. Oh, brother. Oh, this boy's about to get fucked up. This boy's about to get fucked up. This was not the greatest way of doing this, because now our Masquerena can't really go into much. Although, to be honest, I kind of really just wanted to go into Sprite Elf. So I'm summoning my Buster Blader here, and my Buster Dragon here. And I'm probably just going to end up going into Sprite Elf. Yep, Masquerena comes out. That's all well and good. Promethean Princess, you're going to come out here. Again, all good. Toggle on. We're going to Masquerena. We're going to go into Elf to make our Buster cards untargetable. Man. Man. Man! And there you go. There you go. No more monster effects for you, buddy. But even, yeah, alright, bye. See ya. Fair enough. Jesus. There we have it. We kind of botched our live game a little bit. A couple of misplays in there. I definitely hyper-focused too much on the Buster Blader plays. But again, the Buster Blader was simply too good. It won us the game. Like, that combo, if your opponent doesn't immediately have an out, it's really, really tough for them to come back. And because of the Snake Eyes card, we're able to back up our Buster Blader with more and more support and more protection and cards and negates to where the number of outs your opponent could possibly draw is dwindling more and more and more and more, right? Even just being untargetable from Sprite Elf is huge. So there's definitely quite a lot going on there. This deck is phenomenal. Is it better than regular Snake Eyes? I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. But is it better than every other Buster Blader deck? You can bet your ass. If you're playing Buster Blader and you're not playing it like this, you're playing it wrong. There are other cool ways. Play it however you want, right? Of course. Branded Buster Blader is still really cool and stuff like that. But this deck just has a level of power and consistency that just cannot be matched. The fact that there is sort of bespoke synergy between the two, playing in all of these extenders and playing in such a fashion that doesn't impede upon the Snake Eye strategy is really awesome. Do I think that this is going to be a top tier way of playing it going forward? Probably not. Do I think that this is the exact list that you should definitely be playing all of the time? Again, maybe not. But this is definitely a good starting point if you want to experiment. Again, if you think of any better combos, any better plays, cards, anything like that, let me know down below, or even hop into the Discord and share your ideas in there. So that'll wrap us up for this video. If you got this far, make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.